It's your boy Cino here. I got you. Let me fill you in on what's been going on. Oh yeah, the Cino's here and the Cino's talk. Oh man, I gotta get the cigar. I gotta get the Stogie Cino. Stogie Cino's here. What's good, y'all? Where the Laker fans at? Where the Laker fans? Where the Laker fans at? Get them Laker fans up in here. Where you at, Laker fans? Hey, Laker fans. Hey, we gotta get some Laker fans up in here. You know what I mean? Now, yeah, you know the word around the campfire is never always good. So you try to keep things in perspective and be as, forthcoming as possible. Because that's the way you want to be. You want to keep it that way, right? At all times. Now, the Lakers have run into a dilemma. That's right. The Los Angeles Lakers, everybody's team, right, has run into a great dilemma. Uh-oh, some got jammed. Do you want to know what that dilemma is, good people? That great dilemma that they're in is one that don't sit well with the general public. No, 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 no. Hey, how you doing? Oh, he crept up on me. Man, they didn't let any notifications go for this video. You could tell they are on my tail. Whew. God. Well, the Los Angeles Lakers are in a crisis point, and they just better hope, due to injuries, they get an exemption, or they just have to go as is. Because they can no longer add any more players to their roster. The NBA said, nope, that's it. So, there's a 15-man roster. And the Lakers are one of like 5 teams that have to go at it with just 14 guys. Because they can't afford to put a 15th guy on the bench. Because they are right at the cap. And they do not want to hit the second apron when you got 2 guys getting $100 million. That's not going to fare well for the team. Now, it's a catch-22. Because what do you do here? Do you get rid of LeBron James? Or, check this out, you don't get rid of LeBron James. Then what happens? You stuck with him. So this should be a one and done with LeBron. Because if you're going to sign this guy to another 2-year deal, let's say they don't win the title this year. If the Los Angeles Lakers do not win the championship this year, do you bring LeBron back next year? Let's say they get to the finals and lose in the finals. Do you bring the Los Angeles Lakers back next year with LeBron James? Because you're going to have to do a new deal with LeBron. Is it going to be a 1-year deal? And what would his 1-year deal be worth? He damn sure ain't getting no $50 million. So, what should his deal be worth? Is that the headache you want to have for a guy who's going to be another year older, another year slower than the competition coming into the league? So you're telling the world you want a 70% chance that this guy will be back next year. Nah. He would have to play for the veteran minimum to free up cap. Or he could walk. Because it's not like you're going to get anything for LeBron. If you trade him, what you going to trade him for? A 2012 Ford Escape or something? That's about what his trade-in value is. So it comes to a point where you have to face it. You know how they say, let's face it? We're at that point where people have to face it. It's time to face it. This is what the reality is. This is what that news is like. This is what people are running from. Now, the question that people should ask is, why are they running from it? This is right up your alley. It's nothing you should be running from. It's that truth. Now, if they can't add a 15th guy on the team, that's because you had a bad GM who then wasted money. You wasted draft picks, you wasted money. You brought in Dorian Finney-Smith just to let him stay here for a half a season. You brought in all these people to appease LeBron James just so you can get eliminated quick, fast, in a hurry in the playoffs that you should have never even been in. So now they can't add any players. Whose fault is that? Who is that? Whose shoulders is all that information going to fall on? The general public. Because they're going to know they can't get away with all this anymore. They're using you for your money. And if the Laker fans would have stayed home, they'd have been out of this dilemma. But they didn't decide to stay home. They decided that they gonna play ball. They gonna play through. Like, nah, we're gonna play through. Well, they're gonna play through. Okay. Since you want to play through, they're going to show you who you're playing with. Listen. Stogie. Last time LeBron lit up one of these, 2016, when the league had to corruptly give you a championship because you couldn't get one on your own because you was too old and done. Now, Golden State still should have won that series. Going 3 minutes in the fourth quarter without a basket, inexcusable. All because they want to shoot threes. I was not happy about that. I was one who was ready for protest. Then, to top it all off, to get me more than angry, somebody thought in their infinite wisdom it would be a great idea to go ahead and change direction and pivot while bringing in Luka Doncic in a trade. And guess what? The middle of the season. And right before the NBA Finals is really over, Zeno uncovers the news that Jenny Buss is going to sell the team. And it went to the majority owner. The man with the money from the Dodgers. Now, everything pivots again. And because it keeps pivoting, you keep having a new reality. What's up, John? They finally let a notification go your way? The Los Angeles Lakers are very close to the second apron. So they can't make any more moves. The New York Knicks, right at the second apron. They really can't make too many moves. The Lakers would have to trade players in order to make moves. They can't just add anybody else to the team. That's why they couldn't get Chris Paul. Now, I saw a video today that was done by Rob Parker. That he had someone on the inside that told him that LeBron James is trying to trade Kyrie Irving for Chris Paul. And that was the real reason of the rift back in Cleveland. That was true, him trying to go have him traded, but it was Bledsoe, was not Chris Paul. Bledsoe was involved in the trade in Phoenix. Kyrie's agent at the time, his representative and the people that was repping him were in Phoenix. And they thought he knew that Kyrie Irving was coming to the Phoenix Suns. And LeBron, working with his general manager and going through that process, was working with Bledsoe, who was signed, the first player they ever signed to Clutch Sports. Eric Bledsoe, who I call Rock Body. So LeBron thought they had a better chance with Rock Body than Kyrie Irving. Mainly, he wanted to do it due to Kyrie's availability. He became too unreliable with his health And he don't want to be going the bulk of the season with Kyrie being injured. This was LeBron's concern. And Kyrie's not 100%. And he don't want to get all the way to the final. And Kyrie can't go. Now, Ty Lue didn't go as far as to the details, but he said it was like Shaq and Kobe with Kyrie and LeBron. They just don't talk about it, either one of them. They always talk like, oh, I love him, he's my brother. But believe me, there was a lot of BS going on. Kyrie was young, and he wasn't going with the propaganda. I remember something happened on the court, and then he got on Kyrie when Kyrie was coming to the bench. Kyrie looked at Ty Lue and said, hey, you said that's his problem, right? Right? When we just had a meeting, he's like, that ain't my problem. You said that's his problem. So that's his problem. That's Bron's problem, not mine. He gonna handle everything else, right? I do this part, he gonna handle everything else. So when he started yelling at him for whatever it was, Tyrese just shook his head like, boy, you just don't understand the business. But Kyrie was letting it know, hey, you said that's his problem. You told me that's his problem. So whatever that meeting they had, Kyrie didn't want to hear it no more. That's supposed to be his problem. So get on him. And he can't get on LeBron. LeBron brought him there. Oh yeah, that whole story. What you want me to do, Kyrie? I need you to guard Draymond Green in the second half. And that's what turned the game around. No, the refs turned the game around. Missing players and injuries in the finals turned the game around. But it's no excuse. They got their win, whatever. But to go on Shannon Sharp and say, if they didn't have Kevin Durant, they would have won, Cleveland would have won 3 championships in a row. Now we doing ifs. Okay, if they don't have him, they have Harrison Barnes. They were up 3-1 on your ass without Kevin Durant. 3-1. They was up on your ass. Draymond had to get thrown out in order for that to happen. So if they was 3-1 up on your ass, and you had to go 7 games to win, and they were up 3-1 on your ass without Kevin Durant, how the hell you think you gonna win 3 championships against that team? Out your goddamn mind. Y'all would have been swept. If the East was any damn good, y'all wouldn't be there. They torpedoed Carmelo Anthony's whole rise, destroyed his whole thing, took his players that he had in New York. He had Shump, and then he had JR, and LeBron liked the way they D'd him up and was like, yeah, I need them. And took him right from Melo. Melo was hurt. They was like, oh, Melo hurt. He ain't gonna need him. Let me get them too. And they moved them right on over to Cleveland. Now, here's the news. All this stuff they putting at stake, right? Saying this is at stake, man. We gotta come together. We gotta focus. This is what's at stake. We playing for championships. We playing for pride. This is what's at stake. Man, come on. Be serious. What you talking about? LeBron and the Lakers, once he got to LA, he was already done. Once he tore that doggone muscle in his leg, he was done. Now he been just trying to get on by. You notice, as soon as he got to LA, all the injuries started piling up. With old age and you trying to play bully ball, that wear and tear is gonna tear you apart. Well, he's a stick dribbler. So who's he taking off the dribble? No one. So all these narratives come to a halt as soon as you mention his name. They kept everybody out the chat on this video. Y'all couldn't get in here for about 2-3 minutes. Hit the like button up. Because they like this victim blaming. They like this LeBron is the victim. Now, definitely. Like I always tell people, do the right thing. And do what's right by yourself and do what's right by people. And you'll see, you'll come out one way or another. You know, you'll come out your way. Now, the team they need to be worried about is the Los Angeles Clippers. Because they're about to put the Lakers out of business. And I know what the Laker fans said. The Clippers? That choke. They haven't won nothing. You ain't listening to what I'm saying. I said they about to put them out of business. See, Jenny Buss can't keep up. And the rest of the board ain't gonna keep granting her money to use to go ahead and keep improving and modernizing and her futuristic, whatever she wants to call it. They ain't gonna let it happen. Yes, I could see how that could be a problem or troublesome to to an individual or a family, or I can see how that could be a problem. But what's a bigger problem for you? The fact that you have one individual that can't do something right, or multiple individuals that can do something right. See? It's all about who you know and what you know. What you're willing to put up with, what you can't put up with. See, the Los Angeles Clippers, they figured it out. They figured out the whole game. And the whole game was simple for them. They said, oh, this all we got to do for this little bit? No problem. No problem whatsoever. But now, since you put us in this box, now you're about to see how deep the rabbit hole goes. Absolutely. Now you're about to really see how deep the rabbit hole goes. Because the Clippers and Ballmer has his own money. He bought that stadium. Who you think they're going to go to? A more modern stadium? Or they going to go to what used to be Staples? Staples didn't modernize. You're modernizing a dump. Staples is outdated. It's 20 years outdated. Jenny can't afford those costs. She had to get more money from the board. They need more seats. They need bigger stands, everything. Clippers, you see that? That stadium they got? That's the future. Now you get the biggest concerts in the world. Are you going to go to Staples? What used to be Staples? Or are you going to go to the Clippers facility? If you a concert coming into town, you're going to say, oh no, we need those seats. They're going to win all the contracts from the Los Angeles Lakers. They're doing them in business-wise. All the requests for tickets, they were like, Jenny Buss is losing her mind, like, no, remember, we're the Lakers, I'm your friend, Jenny. It's like, Jenny, we love you. But Ballmer's giving us a sweeter deal. And we got way more seats. They got more seats. So they got more butts in the seats, making it happen. Meanwhile, she's chasing her own tail, trying to figure out why all this ain't going her way. So she had to sell. She ain't gonna keep losing money. So that Clipper Stadium is a problem. That's why they tried to stop it from being made. The Lakers called up the owners of the Madison Square Garden and said, because they own the Forum. They bought it off Dr. Buss when he needed some cash. So he sold the Forum to him. So they called him up to block construction. He said, they called him up and she was like, can you block construction? They're trying to build a stadium over there. That's too close to the Forum. You can't have, we have a law saying you can't have rivals that close. Ain't nothing going on in the Forum. He's like, what rivalry we got with the Forum? There's no team there. So she was, rules are rules. So Ballmer got pissed and was like, okay, So the Lakers want to play this game. Y'all gonna call New York and have them come in there to block my stadium. Okay. Ballmer got on the phone, called the owners of that own Madison Square Garden, that own the Forum, and said, hello? Yeah. I want to buy the Forum. He was like, well, I ain't thought about selling it. I give you this many million for it. Done. Paperwork be done by the end of the day, business day. Thank you. Click. Called up Jenny Bus. Yeah. I tried to hold them off as long as I could. But he really wants this stadium. And yeah, he just bought the Forum. So I just thought I'll let you know. Hey, Ballmer bought the Forum. So he don't just own the Clippers Stadium, he owns the Forum too. He gonna put the Lakers out of business. She had to sell. She had no choice. That's business. That's how the business was done. Yeah, you know, when you have things that don't go well for you or they're not progressing, yeah, they understand it now. LeBron don't have that in it when a man steps up to him. You know that. He like beta man, like Stephen A. How you doing? Now, How the Lakers can compete now that they got the Dodgers owner? Yeah, now they can compete. But he's good for acquiring talent and cutting out the old people. He did the same thing with the Dodgers. He gonna do the same thing with the Washington Redskins. And now they finna do the same thing with the Lakers. They let Chase Daniels, they let they let all them that superstar defense go. You know why? Because they had younger players that could play. And they was ready to go. Now, when you start seeing someone such as myself, you might say to yourself, Sino, why LeBron can't guard nobody? Well, defense has to be something you're committed to playing. He don't like to commit. He's always been a lazy player. Lazy. And lazy drives me crazy. Never liked a lazy player. Lazy player breaks your heart. You know? Because it's like, do you have to be lazy or are you choosing to be lazy? And then you wonder why they lose. There's an old saying that goes, some people are losers by birth or by choice. LeBron might get it on both sides. His daddy probably was a loser, either by birth or by choice. I mean, how many times are you gonna say to yourself, man, I should have did this. Man, I should have did that. Oh, I wish I'd have did that. People get sick of it, you know? How many times you get sick of hearing somebody talking about, oh, I should have did this. Oh, I should have did that. You know what I wish I'd have did? But that. They do it all the damn time, whining and crying about what they should have, could have did. What would you should have, would have, could have done? I don't know. Maybe I should have, would have, could have did that. Jabroni will play in the G League forever. But see, here's the thing, as I always tell y'all, there's a business side and there's a whole other side to this equation. I keep trying to tell people these things. They gotta understand. Right. The Baron von Sino got a more direct route to the top.